Welcome to this edition of The Forum. I'm your host, Sheila Evans. We have a great show in store for you today with an outstanding lineup of guests. We get our show started today by talking with Tiffany Leslie and Dick Agnex with Special Olympics. They tell us about their upcoming Polar Plunge and 5K walk-run fundraiser. Then we travel to Murray Middle School, where we talk to students and school officials about this year's County Science Fair. And finally, Sandra Ciesowski, Director of the Marine Science Academy at Ashley High School, joins us to talk about the Academy and how students can apply to join. We've got a great edition of The Forum for you today, and we'll get started right after this short break.
My daughter.
Come here.
I love you, Dad.
I took a trip to Elkhart, Indiana today. Elkhart's a place that has lost jobs faster than anywhere else in America. In fact, local TV stations have started running public service announcements that tell people where to find food banks, even as the food banks don't have enough to meet the demand.
I have two guests with me today from Special Olympics. To my left, I have Tiffany Leslie, and to my far left, I have Dick Agnex. And they're both here to talk about Special Olympics here in New Hanover County. Tiffany, let's start with you. Just for anyone that doesn't know, what is or are Special Olympics?
All right, Special Olympics is a year-round sports and competition program for anyone with intellectual disabilities. We have 12 different sports in our immediate area, and we do other things like social events.
Oh, fun.
And we also have the spring games, the fall games, which is what a lot of people recognize us for. And we also do like parades and some other fun things in the year. But it is year round, so we always have things going on constantly.
Okay. And who can participate, and is there a cost?
There is no cost. It's free for all of our participants. It's for anyone who is 8 years old and older.
Okay.
And it's free for them and their families, and we provide everything as far as like if we go out of town, the transportation, the uniforms, the meals, anything you think of, we try to get it to them.
Right. So you said 8 and older. Really? How old are
our oldest?
Yeah.
I would say our oldest maybe in the 60s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not limited to like,
No.
high school age.
No,
is
it could
what
go all the
was
way
coming
up.
to my mind.
Yeah, all the way up to senior citizens, or as old as they want to participate.
Right.
But right now, I think we only have as old as probably mid-60s. I don't think we have anybody older than that.
I did not know that. I just said I learned something new all the time. Dick, can you tell us how it's funded?
Yeah, we are an all-volunteer organization.
Okay.
Our funding is really from individual, corporate, and foundation funds. We do not receive funding from city or county or federal level.
Okay.
So we are what you would say 100% directly to support the activities. Every dollar we collect goes right toward the programs.
That makes a lot of people happy. Tiffany, let's jump to you. Let's talk about the Polar Plunge.
Oh, yay.
And I guess there's a 5K as well.
There is. It's our second year doing the 5K. So the Polar Plunge is a way to raise money for our program. And because without it, we couldn't really have all of the sports and all of the activities that we do. But you get a big group together, and then we jump in the freezing cold water in February.
Where does this happen?
This happens at Carolina Beach.
Okay.
At the boardwalk. We have activities starting at 11 o'clock in the morning. We do live music, food. We have a costume contest as well as silent auction, and we also have the 5K run, which is our second year. So So that's at 2 o'clock, and the plunge is at 3.
So the race is at 2?
The race is at 2.
Okay. And I'm assuming it's at Carolina Beach.
It's
So you
at
go and you run, and then you jump in.
Right. But you could do either the
Okay.
run or the plunge, or both, the run and plunge. So you could do either one.
So the run was new last year.
It was a new
And
addition.
I assume it went well that you're doing a second one.
Yeah, well, I think we did pretty good for our first year of having
We had a
them.
lot of rain, which kind of
Yeah.
dampened things down, but we're hopeful for sunny weather this year.
So did a lot more people plunge because they did the run? They hung around and did that part, or?
Well, last year we had the run early in the morning,
Oh.
like at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, and then so a lot of people went home.
Well,
and
yeah,
didn't
that makes
change, you
sense.
know. So this year we're putting it right there together, so they can really just literally run and
Right.
then when they're done plunge. So we're going to see how this works out, and hopefully.
How many years have you been doing the plunge? Do you know?
This is our 10th year.
Oh,
This is our
okay.
10th
Wow.
anniversary. Yeah.
And you take over the area by the boardwalk.
We do. We take it all over. So, well, like I said, we'll have a whole lot of food and just activities for everybody, and silent auction. People dress up in all crazy outfits. You know, in the past we've had like pirates and toys and chickens and sharks.
Chickens?
Chickens.
People dress up, and we give prizes to the winners of the costume
That dress
contest.
up. Oh, it's
Yeah.
fun. Tell us, we did talk about how most of the fundraising does go right to Special Olympics. Can you add anything to that? Any thoughts on that?
The fundraising?
Yeah, just, you know, what other fundraiser do you have besides the Polar Plunge?
The Polar Plunge is the only yearly fundraiser. In the past, we've had, and Dick actually is the one who put it on because he's so good. We did the golf tournament, and way back we did like little things, but the Polar Plunge is so great that we don't have to do.
You might as well put all your
the
resources into
right.
one
We just do
event.
the one big thing.
Do you find people come to spectate?
We do. We'd have a lot
watch?
of spectators, you know, just
So
watching
they
us
can
crazy people.
And they can participate by like the silent auction and the food, so it's not limited. If you really don't want to get in that cold
Right.
water and you don't want to run,
Yeah.
there's still a way to support you that day.
Exactly. You can support us in other areas that day. But to participate in the 5K or the plunge, you could either do it as an individual or do it as a group, as a
Okay.
team. It's 5 or more to be on a team. You
Okay.
can get cool T-shirts, like team T-shirts with your name on it, with the color that you choose for your shirt, and it's $30 for students to
Okay.
plunge, $50 for non-students, and it's $25 for the run, and $30 the day of,
Okay.
or you know, the late registration
Right.
for the run, and then $55 for both if you want to do the run and the plunge.
Fun. Fun. Great. What else do you think you, well, Dick, let's jump to you. Let's share some other thoughts about Special Olympics, or maybe something you thought goes really well.
Well, maybe perspective on what Special Olympics is.
Okay.
And it's a worldwide organization. We're in 170 countries. We've got 1.3 million athletes, 700,000 volunteers, 500,000 coaches. It's been one of the most successful volunteer programs internationally. From a funding standpoint, again, this is our primary fundraiser for the entire year, although we certainly accept donations year-round.
Sure.
We really need the funding and support from the local population.
Great. Well, hopefully everybody will come out. Remind us that date again.
It's February 22nd.
February 22nd.
February 22nd. It's a Saturday.
Carolina Beach.
Carolina Beach.
Nice meeting you both. Thanks for coming and bringing that information. I'll be back in just a few minutes right after these messages.
Edgar Allan Poe led a troubled life plagued by poverty and the loss of the people he loved. Despite his problems, Poe produced a large body of work including short stories, essays, and poems. He died in Baltimore at the age of 40, but his stories and poems live on, read by millions of readers in America and around the world. This background in literature has been brought to you by New Hanover County Schools on the Learning Network of the Cape Fear.
Who was president? The years 1989 to 1993. As a Navy pilot, he won the Distinguished Flying Cross. During his administration, the Cold War ended. He sent troops to invade Iraq. If you guessed George Bush, you're right. He was the 41st President of the United States. This presidential pop quiz has been brought to you by New Hanover County Schools on the Learning Network, Time Warner Cable Channel 5.
Welcome back to the forum. I'm Sheila Evans. Every year, students across the nation create a hypothesis and work on it until they reach a conclusion. Their findings are then displayed on a trifold board, and it's all part of their science fair project. These projects are then judged, and each school sends their top projects to compete at the county level. We traveled to Murray Middle School for the county science fair and got a first-hand experience of the event.
The science fair is a chance for students to be able to choose a topic of their choosing, to research, perform an experiment, and then find the conclusions for that experiment. It teaches students not only the content of science, but also teaches them skills that they'll need, like problem solving, organization, time management, and things like that, and gives them a chance to work independently on a project of their choosing. Students really must follow the scientific method, and they start by having a problem or asking a question that they want to find the answer to. So once they have their question, they form a hypothesis, which is their educated guess as to what they think the answer to that question is. They then gather materials, create a procedure for testing that hypothesis, and collect data and collect the results from their project and their experiment, and then they draw conclusions. Was their hypothesis correct? What did they learn from doing the experiment? And then some students actually take it a step further and say, what could I do based on what I learned in this experiment, and do another experiment.
I love science fair because it's just a way that you can go and you can create your ideas and prove your points, and I think it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it, and I look forward to it every year.
I think science fair is a cool thing to be able to express different science things, and I think it helped me to understand different science principles and stuff, because you actually get to do experiments, it's hands-on, and it actually promotes you to do that.
Most schools had a local school-wide science fair. It varied as to who participated in it, and then from the school level, students were chosen to attend. Each school had a certain number of students that they could send to the county fair based on their enrollment number, and so they were chosen locally within the schools. We have 199 projects today, so almost 200, ranging from 3rd grade through 12th grade. Science fair is important on several different levels. One thing is the opportunities that it gives students. Students who win at the county level can move to the regional level, and then middle and high school students, if they win at the regional level, can move to the state level. And then at the state level, there is scholarship money available, so that's one benefit for students. One is being able to work independently. I think students, when they have a project that they have put their time and their work in, it gives them a sense of confidence, it gives them a sense of pride that this is their work that they did, and it really, as you walk around these projects, you see these students and they're really beaming and so proud of the work that they have done, and that confidence is something that is good for them to have and helps them as they move on through school. I think some of the best science projects aren't necessarily the most difficult ones, the most difficult topics, but ones where students really understand the science behind it and follow the scientific method, which is what we're really trying to teach them. I have seen some very clever ones out in schools, and students have been very unique in some of the choices that they've made, and not just doing typical science fair projects, but really doing what they're interested in. And that's one good thing about science fair, that their own individual interests and personalities can come out in their science fair project.
What I found fun about it is that I got to turn something that you wouldn't normally think of into a science project. And so I used regular household items, which was kind of easy, so I didn't have to go out and buy anything. But it basically turned out well, and it was really fun.
We do have a score sheet. There's a separate score sheet for elementary and then one for middle and high school. And they're looking at things such as, do the students follow the scientific method? Do they really understand the science behind their project? Did they just do it and that's it, or can they actually explain why things happened the way they did? They're asking questions like, why did you choose this project? And if you could do it differently, what would you have done if you could do it differently, to show that the student has learned from this experience. This is a process, and we don't expect all students to be perfect the first time. It's learning the process of doing science that we want them to gain from this.
I would suggest them to just have fun and make sure you enjoy the project, because you're going to be doing the project for probably about 2 months, 3 months at the least. And if you don't enjoy the project, then it's not going to be a very fun process.
We have trophies. We'll be awarding 20 trophies to 20 elementary school winners. And then from there, a certain number will be chosen to move on to the regional. And then in middle and high school, we'll be giving a first, second, and third place at each category. There's earth science, physical science, biological science, and technology. And we'll be given a first, second, and third place for each of those levels, and then we'll be picking a certain number to send to the regional. The regional science fair is in February, the beginning of February, February 12th, and it will be at UNCW. So we'll have roughly 25 projects that will move on to the regional level. And then from the regional level, they'll be selected to go to the state science fair, which is in Raleigh in March.
Science is an important component of education, and the County Science Fair is a great way to connect student learning with something of interest to them. It inspires participants and in many cases opens their mind to new career options. The winners of this year's County Science Fair will go on to compete at the regional level and then hopefully onto the state level. Be sure to watch future editions of Your School News to find out how and which New Hanover County schools moved on. Now don't go away. We'll be right back with more of the forum right after this message.
Every trip, every time. California, here I come! Buckle up so you and your friends get home safely.
I must scream it to the world from the top of someplace very high.
Seatbelts save lives.
Okay.
Visit NHTSA.gov.
Low and slow. My best friend, what are you gonna do?
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
That is spectacular advice.
The magical thing about using energy wisely is that anyone can do it. Turn off lights. Use energy-saving light bulbs. And turn off computers and game systems when not in use. Make a change and we can really fly. Grab a grown-up and go online to energy.gov/kids.
I am joined by Sandy Ciesielski. She is an instructor and director of the Marine Science Academy at Ashley High School. Describe the Marine Science Academy for us. Tell us what it is, what it looks like.
The Marine Science Academy is a collaborative program with University of North Carolina, Wilmington, Cape Fear Community College Marine Technology School, and New Hanover County Schools. The program is year-long, and it's equivalent to 2 college courses that a typical freshman would take in college. The fall semester is primarily oceanography, where the students learn concepts in marine technology, remote sensing, as well as geological oceanography, physical oceanography, also air-sea interface, climate change, as well as North Carolina shoreline processes. The spring semester is primarily Introduction to Marine Biology. We do a short review of fundamentals of biology and ecology, and then move straight into marine biology, ending the semester with fundamentals of ocean ecosystems, from estuaries to the deep sea. Students also are involved in a week-long summer immersion program. So
cool.
Technically the students start school a week earlier than everyone else in New Hanover County. We spend one day on each different topic, from marine technology to marine biology, on each day, along with field trips and ocean excursions on the UNCW research vessel. Students also do an internship in which they possibly could be working at the Aquaculture Center at Wrightsville Beach, monitoring fisheries there, or also working with oysters at the oyster hatchery at the Center for Marine Science on Mason-Burr Loop Road. Students also may work at the aquarium at Fort Fisher. So an internship is important. The last component is their senior project, is also tied to their experiences in the Marine Science Academy.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. How do students that are interested apply for acceptance into the program?
Students may apply to the program at the end of their either sophomore or junior year. If they are very exceptional juniors, they could receive induction into the academy. There will be applications online beginning on February 18th. There will also be a student parent information session later this month, and there will be information put out by New Hanover County Schools on the website as well as in the news regarding that. And the application is available on the New Hanover County Schools website beginning on February 18th. And students should look at taking very rigorous courses in order to prepare.
Okay, so eligibility is junior or seniors. Anything else besides that plays into the eligibility? Do you have to be in the Ashley School District?
No, ma'am. Students may apply from any school in New Hanover County.
Okay.
It's very important that they take the proper prerequisites, such as very challenging courses, but anyone throughout New Hanover County is eligible to apply to the academy.
Okay. What kind of challenging courses will we be looking at for the prerequisites?
Well, in the 9th grade, it's very important that students take honors Earth Environmental Science, as well as very quickly moving on to honors biology, honors chemistry, and even as many AP courses that they could have completed in science up until that point. Also, it's important that they take as many challenging math courses as possible, as well, moving through basic honors level and accelerated classes prior to applying for the academy. That's very important since they're going to be working at a college level in the Marine Science Academy. They need to have the skills to function at that level.
Okay, so if you've taken 1 or 2 APs because you've just finished your sophomore year, they'll finish their APs at Ashley, yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. As part of all that. And did you mention when the applications would be available?
Applications will be available live on the New Hanover County as well as the Ashley website beginning February 18th.
Okay.
And there will be a parent information, parent-student information night that will be announced later toward the end of February.
What's the due date for applications?
March 31st.
Okay.
So it gives them approximately 6 weeks of time to, talk to their parents, decide if this is what they want to do, to visit the program as well, to attend the student parent information night so that they can decide that they are willing to make this commitment.
Now I know we don't have a committed date to that yet or location, but what do you envision that night looking like?
Students would receive an overview of the program, what their studies would be like for the upcoming year, as well as requirements to get into the program. We also do a brief summary of what their summer enrichment program is like for them, as well as the results of all their hard work. There is a seal on their diploma that they'll receive for their exceptional work in the academy, as well as they can receive waivers at UNCW for these 2 freshman courses. So essentially, they would have 2 3-hour courses waived when they enter UNCW or Cape Fear Community College.
Anything else about the Academy you think we should know?
I think it's important that students who are truly interested in marine science, if this is where they want to go with their possible career paths, they should definitely look at exploring the Marine Science Academy. It's all very hands-on, lots of field experiences and research projects. So it's also learning is fun because you're out in the field and working.
How many years have we been doing this in New Hanover County Schools?
This is a pilot year.
Yay.
So our first year, this upcoming 2014-2015 will be our second year in the Academy.
Great. How's it going so far?
It's going well. The
Good.
students have had some wonderful experiences and internships and as well as students who are middle school age. It's really important that they start thinking about this because so many younger students, especially even elementary students, have contacted me and they say, how do I get ready to do this someday? And I said, you know, basically the same rule, you know, work very hard in your subjects, make sure you do very well in your EOGs, and when moving from middle school onto high school, it's important that you elect to take as many honors level 9th grade courses as possible to start off on the right foot in high school.
Well, how exciting. Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy, for updating us on the Marine Science Academy at Ashley High School. And I'll be back in a few minutes right after these messages. We hope you've enjoyed our program today. For more information or to sign up for the Special Olympic Polar Plunge and 5K Run Walk, call 341-7253 or go to their website at www.plungenhc.com. And to apply for the Marine Science Academy at Ashley High School or for more information, call 790-2360, extension 419. Now, if you ever have any questions about the topics discussed here on our show today, please call the School Systems Public Relations Office at 254-4180 or check out the school system's website at www.nhcs.net. I'm Sheila Evans, and thanks for joining me today.